Thank you to arthelper.ai, who are supporting this Bangladesh special. If you've got photographs sitting on a hard drive going nowhere, and let's face it, most of us probably have, and you've wondered about actually selling them, but don't have the foggiest where to start with the marketing, the mock-ups, the emails and all that stuff, well, arthelper.ai takes care of it for you. Use the code Photowalk at arthelper.ai, Photowalk at arthelper.ai for 30 days of the pro version completely free. Bangladesh is roughly the size of England. Somewhere between 170 and 200 million people live there. We heard different figures on the ground. The honest answer is that nobody's entirely certain. What is certain is that Dhaka, the capital, is one of the busiest, loudest, most relentlessly alive cities you're ever likely to walk into and photograph. You'll hear that in this episode. The city runs on noise, an orchestra of car horns that never quite stops. Layers of sound that somehow, after a while, start to feel, well, pretty much normal. Britain's connection to this part of the world is long and not always something to be proud of. When the British left in 1947, they divided the subcontinent along religious lines, and what became Bangladesh was lumped together with Pakistan, despite the two being separated by over 1,000 miles of India, speaking different languages, and having very little in common beyond religion. It was an arrangement that could never hold, and after years of political marginalization and a brutal military crackdown in 1971, Bangladesh fought its way to independence in a 9-month war. The human cost was enormous, and it isn't forgotten. More recently, in the summer of 2024, a student protest movement brought down the government. What started as a dispute over a jobs quota system grew into something much bigger, fueled by years of frustration, and the Prime Minister eventually fled the country. Bangladesh is the second largest garment exporter in the world. The clothes on your back have a reasonable chance of having been made there, in factories that employ millions of people, the majority of them women. It's a country that clothes much of the planet, and gets, I would say, very little credit for it. Ironic that when I landed in this city, I was wearing a shirt from Mountain Warehouse that I suppose you could say was going home. So into this, I walk with my travel partner Lynn Fraser, amateur photographer's travel photographer of the year, with our cameras and the very good fortune of having GMB Akash as our teacher, our mentor and guide. Now Akash is Bangladeshi, and that matters enormously because this is his place, his country, his city, his people. He's spent a career photographing lives on the margins, not in a way that reduces people to their hardship, but in a way that gives them back their dignity. His work has appeared in over 100 major publications. He's won the World Press Photo Award, and he founded a photography institute in Dhaka that uses workshop income to fund education for street children. He is a significant figure and a very warm one. What's interesting and worth knowing before you listen today is that not everyone at home is comfortable with what he does. Some in Bangladesh feel he should be pointing his camera at the more prosperous side of the place, the development, the progress. Akash has his own feelings about that, clearly and consistently, and I think his reasons for that will become obvious as the episode goes on. But I should say this isn't a formal Akash interview. He helped us navigate, made introductions, joined dots we couldn't have joined alone, and acted as a teacher in this glorious city. And one more thing before we start, because I think this is worth pointing out. We, myself and Lynn, are two Westerners with cameras walking through one of the most densely populated cities on Earth, photographing lives very different from our own. And that comes with a certain amount of responsibility, and we knew that. This isn't a series about how difficult life is somewhere else, shot from a comfortable distance so that people back home can feel something vague and then move on. We'll be telling some of the tougher stories of this city, because they do exist, but because they also matter, and because looking away would be its own kind of dishonesty. But the people we met weren't subjects. They were welcoming, curious, funny, occasionally baffled by us, and almost universally generous with their time. The camera was a conversation starter. If you're looking for misery tourism, no, this is the wrong podcast. But if you're looking for Dhaka, the real, loud, complicated, beautiful, maddening sometimes, extraordinary place that it actually is, then stay with us. We're in a side street, and there's quite a lot of barbers here. But I always think the interesting thing about barbers is that when you street barbers, this is small shops. The interesting thing is all the models on the wall are always, invariably, it seems to me, he says, covering all tracks, Western models or footballers, Messi, Ronaldo. Trying to recognise the others, Messi, Ronaldo. Akash, while you're taking that picture, can I ask you, it's interesting, isn't it, that all the models on the wall, and they're not Bangladeshi, they're Messi,
and
Messi, Ronaldo and Messi, the international language of Ronaldo and Messi. Why don't you show Bangladeshi models?
I don't know. I have no idea. But most of the time, you also say in some saloons, barber shops, you see Bangladeshi actors.
Oh,
but in this one, they don't have. They have Indian, and they also have Messi and Ronaldo.
It's a shrine to Messi and Ronaldo. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
2008 গেছিলাম আমি 3 মাসের মধ্যে গ্রিন কার্ড পাইছি বুঝেন আমি আমেরিকান সিটিজেনশিপ
He was in America.
Ah, you're in America.
এস্টোরিয়া
14 years ago, yeah.
Oh, I thought he was complaining about your photograph.
No.
Yeah, and that you made him look 10 years older. That's what Alaika does.
No. He said if you are from USA,
Yeah.
he could talk to you because he was in USA.
Same language, though.
Yeah, but he will be more interested if you are from USA, so he can talk about you, about his life. He lived in USA for 14 years ago.
What if I spoke with a Dallas accent? Would he understand?
Which one?
A Dallas or Texan? What part of America was he in?
আমেরিকা কোথায় ছিলেন আপনি?
এস্টোরিয়া এস্টোরিয়া নিউ ইয়র্ক
Oh, New York. Now we're speaking the language.
Victoria.
Yeah,
জ্যাকসন হাইট
lovely. Fantastic. Market culture in Dhaka is something else entirely. The big ones run through the night and into the early mornings, which tells you something about the pace of commercial life here. These aren't places you browse at your leisure, they're working markets, loud, dense and purposeful, where goods move fast, and the light, if you can call it that, does very much what it wants. And that's where it gets interesting, photographically that is, because the light in these places is a genuine problem. You're indoors or half indoors under corrugated roofing or canvas sheeting, with whatever bare bulbs happen to be strung up providing most of the illumination. If your kit struggles above 1600 ISO, you're going to be spending a lot of time frustrated. We're in a meat market. Well, actually it's fruit and veg as well, just over there. I thought Lynn was saying we should go to aisle 6. She meant her R6, the cannon. How do you know this market? You know, it's not for the faint-hearted walking through some of this, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, we've got live animals, dead animals, live animals that are soon to be dead animals.
I didn't realise that chickens were dispatched in quite that method. I won't describe it because I'm sure listeners may not necessarily want to hear it. But you know, this is life. I was saying to Lynn that I think it's Sweden, where children are invited to go to the abattoir and understand that what they eat doesn't just come in packets. Oh, you've dropped your flour in the blood. I mean, this place is running with blood. Honestly, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, you?
Oh, you speak good English?
Yes. You country?
England.
English. English, you country.
My country is England, yeah.
Okay.
And where are you from?
Yeah.
That's my joke, Bangladesh, I know.
Okay,
Are
thank
you
you.
from Dhaka?
Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Yeah. What's your name? Nom?
Name, Nur Islam. You name?
Neil.
Neo.
Neil, yeah.
Okay.
I think it sounds like yogurt.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
Very nice to have met you. I don't know whether my jokes land here. What have you found?
It's interesting from here. See that man, beautiful light from here.
Yeah, I love the way that the light is illuminating him, and he's chopping some meat here.
Chickens divided him in two photos.
Yeah.
So one part is there and one part is here. It's interesting.
What is this market?
This is old Dhaka market. There is no name.
Oh, right, okay. Just the old market.
Old market, yeah.
I met a policeman just a moment ago. He introduced himself as from the Bangladeshi police, and I thought, oh no, because I was taking pictures. He just really wanted to talk about London. So where are you suggesting the photo should be made?
You can look
lean
through
against
here, because this is a beautiful line is created with this chicken singing.
Well, let me get a picture before he removes all the chickens. I'm not sure whether this will make the show page. I'm always acutely aware that people have sensibilities around this kind of thing. But honestly, it's fantastic light in here. Amazing. Very busy, as you can hear as well. Oh. I think Lynn's... You've either just made a friend or they're talking you into buying a chicken. Oh, you got the R6 out. But no battery. The life of a travel photographer. I must just point out that between us, I think we've had about 3 hours proper sleep over the last 3 days.
Between us, I think we've got a whole brain.
I'll lend you a bit of mine if you lend me a bit of yours. What are you buying? This is my Bangladeshi police friend. Chicken.
Chicken, কত কেজি কত? হ্যাঁ 300 টাকা
300 taka.
300 টাকা 4 কেজি
Yeah.
ফিশ প্রাইস আর বয়লার চিকেন
Okay, and you boil the chicken.
হ্যাঁ পোলট্রি পোলট্রি ফার্মের চিকেন
Do you earn all the money for your house? You have a wife and children?
2 sons.
2 sons, good.
One wife. Per month, 10 kg. 10 kg
Okay.
chicken.
Oh, 10 chickens. That's what you'll need for a week.
Per month.
For a week.
Per month.
Okay. Oh, per month.
Per month.
Oh, right. Okay. 10 chickens per month.
Yeah.
That's for your entire family. That's
4 family.
yeah.
4 person.
4 people. 10 chickens per month. 4 people. We've been invited into somebody's house. That's your elder brother. Does he speak English as well as you? The international language of fist bump.
That's okay.
What's your name?
Krishna, Tris.
Krishna.
Yes.
Krishna. And this. So, how many rooms are in your house?
Many rooms, many rooms, but live just 2 family. There are one, and here are mine. And they are doing working like cooking there, washing clothes there, but they are not living with their family.
So are these mainly bedrooms here, or I know there's a kitchen?
Yes. Kitchens are 2. Here are 1. You can go.
Yeah. Well, let's have a quick look. Hi.
And there are 1 kitchen.
Where your mother is.
And that's
my mother.
your kitchen. Where did you go to college?
My studies off, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I lost my father when I
sorry.
was 2 years old.
Oh no.
So my mother is working lady. She just responsibility, lots of responsibility.
Lots of responsibility. What about you? Do you work or?
No, I didn't work.
How many sisters and brothers do you have?
I have just one brother.
One brother, and that's him.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Mithun Debnath.
And did you go to the same school or college?
No.
Because you have good English too.
Yeah. It's different. Bangla language is better. His English always good.
Her English is very good, and so is yours. Yeah. What do you do? Do you have a job or?
I have. You need a gold purchase. Gold purchase.
Gold purchase.
Gold purchase.
Oh, a very wealthy man then.
No.
Where do you work? In this city.
In city.
What sport do you play?
Well, sorry.
Sport.
Sport.
Yeah. What do you play? Cricket or
Cricket,
football?
always cricket.
Yeah. Always cricket.
Always cricket.
And the Bangladesh team are quite good, aren't they?
Bangladesh team is not better.
Oh.
Hard working, always low quality. Better than not better.
In school.
She plays cricket too.
Are you a good cricketer?
No. Just played with
bowler or-
my mates, schoolmates with. Just played.
And what are you a good batter or a good bowler?
I think bowler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fast bowler.
No. Normal.
Spinner.
Just normal.
Just normal. Okay.
Please come again.
Thank you very much. Bit of Bangladeshi hospitality there. One moment making a portrait, the next in the kitchen. I've got to say, what was the spice that made us all cough?
I'm sure it might have been turmeric.
Turmeric. There's a lot of turmeric in their dishes. It smelled fantastic. You'll find pictures from our visit to Bangladesh on the show page for this edition today. Some things are genuinely easier to understand when you can see them. The shipyards is where we go next. They sit on the bank of the Buriganga River just across from Sardagat. And at any given moment there are around 27 dockyards in this area, building roughly 80 new ships a year and repairing somewhere between 400 and 500 more. I couldn't really believe that figure, but it seems that it's true. These are working vessels, cargo ships, passenger launches, river steamers built and maintained almost entirely by hand, with the sound of hammering metal carrying across the water more or less constantly. Workers here earn from $5 a day upwards, and the disregard for basic safety is hard to miss. Welding and cutting going on with little to no eye or face protection at times, men walking the high edges of ship decks with nothing between them and a long drop except their own sense of balance. It's not necessarily comfortable to watch, and it's worth being honest about that. What surprised me was what exists behind the yards themselves. An entire ecosystem of small businesses that's grown up in the shadow of the shipbuilding industry. It's fascinating. Engine repair workshops, suppliers of marine parts and fittings, traders selling everything a working vessel might need, and tucked among them, foundries where ships' propellers are cast and finished by hand. Extraordinary things to stumble across, as we did, and not somewhere many visitors would ever find themselves. The banging, the cacophony of bangs you can hear is because we're in a shipyard. I'm just going to say on the other side of the river, which at the moment sounds completely non-descriptive when I'm trying to paint a picture in Bangladesh for you. But we're in a shipyard where they maintain and build. I'm not seeing a lot of building, I'm seeing a lot of maintaining of ships. If I had a name for this series, I would call this Health and Safety. Oh, there we go. Point proved as the chap clatters into the side of the boat. Or the ship, rather. But it's a fascinating place. It's very industrious. Lots of painting going on, which looks, frankly, a thankless task with the amount of hull and the small rollers. I mean, these are rollers that you would use to paint the indoors of your house, not necessarily a reasonably sized tanker. But it is fascinating. I'm being followed by a dog. I seem to have attracted the dogs, who let the dogs out. In terms of manual labour, this part that we've come to in the shipyard here is really, really interesting. And in terms of photography, there's so much to photograph through, behind. It's very skilled work here. This is where casting is done for these various sizes of propellers, quite small ones, right through to reasonably large ones, I would imagine, for maybe not container ships, but certainly larger ships. The age of labour seems to have dipped a bit here. There's a young lad who is collecting hot oil, and he appears to be the only, well, when I say the only one wearing shoes, he's actually got Crocs on. And I think you have to be very careful at this point to not sound judgmental in any way, shape or form, because this is as we found in India last year when I was photographing in one of the train yards, and Michael, who was with me at the time, one of those on the Indian workshop who works on the German railways, said, have you noticed no shoes? And he works in health and safety. And he was fascinated and sat down with them for quite a while, actually, the workers, and chatted. But this young lad here is collecting hot oil, and I don't know what it's quite being used for, but it's being poured into these large cauldrons. But the smoke here is certainly pungent. You can feel it right at the back of your throat. You certainly can. But as for photographing, everybody here seems very happy to be photographed. I spoke to Akash about this, and I said to him, I wouldn't want anybody to ever feel like I was in any way taking advantage of anyone. Hello. And he said no.
Like a jewel.
Pardon? He's fascinated by the dead cat on the top of my microphone. Like a jewel, he said. Is that a cat? I don't know. But Akash said to me, no, it's absolutely fine. A lot of the workers here feel that they are being seen when you make their photographs, and that's why they seem only too happy to sometimes pose, the rest of the time just continue with their work. It's hot here, isn't it, Lynn?
Very hot. It was hot anyway, and it's even hotter now. My goodness, and the noise and the smoke, it's quite intense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody's
This is very skilled work, this bit.
Yeah, and they're working really hard. I mean, it's such physical work.
Yeah.
All done by hand, not really any machinery apart from quite basic winches and pulleys.
I often talk about the footballification when we go abroad and make photographs in countries like Bangladesh, India, West Africa, and already I'm seeing football shirts. I don't know how I expect to see shirts that aren't anything to do with the UK, but the international language of football. Your favourite?
Well, I haven't noticed any football shirts, but I'm not looking for them. But there's lots of T-shirts with English writing on them.
Yeah. Blur over there. Pop band Blur.
Flag Day.
Yeah. I've seen Adidas, Nike.
Yeah.
So for hours, they've been stoking their furnaces, and in a second they're going to pour molten metal out of them. But there's a time when it all starts to happen, and we're closing in on it. There's a young 15-year-old lad, actually. We think he's about 15. And I tell you what, he's doing the hardest bloody work here of all of them. You can hear him now being called, come and do your work. Anyway, they're setting up these these winches above the furnaces, these small-ish furnaces, lifting the covers off. Oof, you can feel the heat from here. Oh. And they're going to lift out the metal, and it's going to be poured into moulds that I've watched being made for props, for ships. We're moving out of the way slightly because they want to move reasonably briskly. Was a lot of fun photographing in the shipyard. That's access you just wouldn't get in many places at all. It was fantastic, lots of activity. Everybody seemed reasonably happy to be photographed. Only a few people asked not to, and that of course is you just say, yeah, no problem at all. But yeah, I want fantastic access, fantastic pictures, friendly people. And now we're making our way back across the river to go for lunch. Bangladesh is a Muslim majority country, but it has a significant Hindu population, and Krishna is one of the most celebrated figures in that tradition, a god of love and wisdom and justice, whose story and teachings have shaped Hindu thought for thousands of years. We weren't necessarily expecting to become part of a festival, but as we were walking near Old Dhaka, there was some music coming from over a wall, and we were approached by somebody who, invited us to one of their festivals. It was a Krishna event that had been going on for a little time without us. We were offered food and photographed as nearly as much as we were photographing. Nobody seemed remotely bothered that two slightly bewildered visitors from England and Scotland had wandered into the middle of their celebrations. Well, invited in. And so we found ourselves on stage as special guests.
Two foreigners, they are our friends, Neil from London and Neil from Scotland. Please welcome them.
Thank you.
Please come on the stage.
Oh no.
We welcome them.
We've been sat up on the stage as guests of honour. What happens? Oh, we've got our shoes on. Okay. We're being given, what are these called? Garlands. Thank you. We watched the dancing for a while, hoping that we weren't going to be invited to take part, which fortunately was the case. Unfortunately, we had to make a speech. I set about mine thinking that I had a bit of a clever game plan, featuring a favourite presenter of mine that used to travel quite a lot for a BBC series about travelling in wonderful exotic locations, mainly by train.
Now I request our foreign friend Neil from London to say something in front all of you. Neil, Prabhu, kichu bolbe.
Hello. Thank you for making a comparatively young man feel like Michael Palin. It was clear my reference to Michael Palin was falling on deaf ears, as hundreds of people in the audience just looked at me open-mouthed. So I chose a different direction instead. You have a very lovely country. I love Bangladesh. Thank you so much.
Now I request Lynn from Scotland to say something for all of you.
I bet you're going to say something more profound.
Hello, everyone. This was a big surprise to be invited to come and join all you lovely people. Thank you very much, Moon, for inviting us. Yes. And thank you all for making us feel so welcome. This is my second visit to Dhaka, and the reason I came back was the people. You're all wonderful. Thank you so much.
I knew she'd say something far more eloquent than me. Oh, you crowd pleaser, you.
That's how you do it, Neil.
There wasn't enough Michael Palin in your speech.
Michael who?
In the middle of the city, tucked into one of those yards you'd perhaps walk past without a second glance, men are breaking apart steel oil drums with hammers. All day, every day. It's loud, as you're about to hear, and it's hot work. The job is exactly what it sounds like. You knock off the end caps, you work the steel that's left flat, you stack it, you move on to the next one. The metal gets, well, mostly recycled, melted back down, I suspect, turned into something else, fed back into the economy. That part is genuinely useful, even if nobody's writing press releases about it. The foreman told us that one man will get through 400 barrels between 8 in the morning and 5 at night. I nodded, wrote it down, and then later on started doing the maths. I mean, a standard oil drum, as you're about to find out, because I'm going to talk about it and get my figures wrong, weighs about 18 to 20 kilos empty. Knocking one down and flattening it takes perhaps 2 minutes if the steel's being, well, kind to you. 400 of them at a pace for 9 hours straight. Well, it doesn't quite add up. Maybe the real figure is closer to 200. Maybe it's a small team working together, and the number belongs to all of them rather than one person. We didn't quite get to the bottom of it. And honestly, that gap between what's claimed and what's physically possible is perhaps its own kind of story. What each man receives is $12 a day, somewhere in the middle of what manual work pays in Bangladesh. Not the worst wage available, but not one that leaves much room either, for living standards, that is. There's no real PPE to speak of, as you're about to hear, really. You're handling steel that's had oil sitting within it, working with sharp edges and a hammer in a yard that isn't running a health and safety committee. The brakes are self-directed, which sounds like freedom, and perhaps it is, but it also tells you something about how informal the whole arrangement is. What I keep coming back to is the repetition within the piece you're about to hear. The same motion hundreds of times over, turning something used and discarded into raw material once again, and there's a logic to it that makes complete sense, even if the conditions around it, to me at any rate, perhaps don't. I find the most amazing thing, Akash, about wherever we've been, nobody's ever come up to me and said, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" And there we are, three of us with cameras, and we've just wandered into a yard and they just carry on. If I did this in the UK, I'd have, "Excuse me, mate, what are you doing?"
But here there is a big reason, because I'm coming here for more than 20 years. Each and of them, they know me.
They know you.
And I'm always respectful to them. And I also try to help them whenever it's possible. So they take me, they know I'm not going to harm them. They know what I'm doing and why I come here, that I appreciate their work, I appreciate their kindness, and I also see them as a human being, and I respect them.
That's the most important thing, is the humanity, isn't it? And
of course.
always when we've walked around with you, you seem to know so many people, but it's always the kindness and the fact that you will stop and have a conversation with people.
Yeah, of course. So whenever I go, our body language, people can understand our energy before we speak. So they can understand you are good people or bad people. They can smell your intention. And if your intention is good, people usually accept you. But I come here often, and I know them. I talk to them. I don't come as a photographer. I come as a human being, as a fellow, Bangladeshi.
Well, I'll ask you where we are in a second, but actually you've reminded me of a lovely lady we met yesterday, and within moments I could see the tears in her eyes. She was the older lady. Do you remember she was the one that said, I don't have anybody. That's it.
Because that was in Old Dhaka, and whenever I go there, many people, they also know me, and when they see me, and they start telling their stories.
They do.
And also sometimes they come because another lady, she was sitting with a dog. There was a dog in front of her.
That one, yes.
And she was telling that seeing you makes me happy. I smile when I see your face. So I built up that kind of relationship, and whenever I go there, I don't only take photos, I ask them, how are you doing? How is your family doing? How you are now? How is your health? So I built a kind of connection, and they care. And whenever possible, I also help them. So in winter, I give them like winter blankets, or in a festival time, I give them new clothes. So whenever it's possible, I do a small contribution.
So where are we? We can hear the banging in the background. Where are we?
So this one here, this is all kind of barrels and drums.
Oil, huge oil barrels.
Oil, chemicals, medicine.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Lots
10,
of
sometimes
chemicals.
12 high.
And they recycle here. So they clean them and they sell them again to Bangladeshi customers. So they can use for containing oil or chemicals or whatever they like.
Hence, some of them are very well painted. I just saw some around the corner. Well, it's a fascinating place. You'd never need to go to the gym here, would you, Lynn?
You certainly wouldn't, would you?
Oh,
My
dear.
goodness me.
I'm surprised these chaps aren't sort of big and muscly in their arms, because this is heavy physical work, isn't it?
Well, it is, yes. I mean, I suppose the big barrels in themselves probably aren't that heavy, but it's wielding that massive hammer to knock them down, and just the constant repetition of what they're doing.
There's a very different repetitive strain injury in this business, honestly. I said to Lynn a moment ago, hopefully you can hear me above the barrel being smashed to pieces at the moment, that if you did a job like this, you probably would never be angry, because you've got something to take it out on because they seem to do one of these every 2 minutes. I timed it.
Yeah, they're very fast.
2 minutes.
Very fast. There's a real rhythm to it.
I'm trying to do some photography at the same time. I'm aware that I've not done an awful lot of what I call sketchbooking my images, where I talk through the pictures. But one thing Akash has mentioned to us is trying to get, and I'm somebody who photographs people's backs as much as their fronts, because I think there can be context in both, but I'm trying to make sure I get the front of this chap working and pulling the hammer up high into the air before he smashes it down. So actually, for once, I do use it. I'm using burst mode, medium burst mode, so it doesn't go ridiculous, because I'm shooting raw. Where are we? It's a little bit darkish in this yard, so 1250 ISO, 4.5, f4.5, 125th shutter speed, and there we go. The other side of all the hammering, the reconditioned barrels are appearing, and some of them, well, a lot of them have actually been repainted, not all of them, and they're being loaded onto carts that are drawn by a very a set of very healthy looking blokes because on some of these there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You'll hear one going on now. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 or 20 barrels. Can't quite see the cart that I'm trying to look at. But, I mean, obviously they're empty, but on a cart, the cart weighs a bit anyway, because I've tried to lift the handles of the cart. So with all these barrels on them, they must weigh a ton, figuratively. Then they're drawn out, they take them out, they walk them down to the river, and they're loaded aboard boats, and I'm not quite sure where they go after that. And then some of them are wheeled into town, and they're used by people who just need oil barrels. Hello, how are you?
Sabir Hussain.
Neil, nice to meet you. As always, I'm drawing a crowd with my iPhone and fluffy thing on as a microphone. Hashi. That means smile. Always get a great smile. In London, of course, you get something entirely different. Barrel update. Just done some sums. There was me trying to guess how much is being carried in terms of weight, and it was written on the side of the barrel, 18 kilograms minimum, that is, because some of them, I don't know, some of them for some reason weigh a little bit more, but 18 kilos, that's empty. Roped onto a cart. The cart, we're having to guess a bit, but that's a good, it's got to be 30 kilos, perhaps a bit more actually, because they're made out of metal. And anyway, the most laden weighed ones, or most laden weighted ones, would be nearly half a ton to pull. One person pulling, and I've watched them. They go along the road, avoiding the potholes. Half a ton. That's it. That's an extraordinary amount of weight. And these things are being turned out quickly. There's no tea breaks going on, that's for sure. So from the extreme heat, and it was extreme heat, of that yard where the guys were physically demolishing or taking the ends off the barrels and then flattening them. We walked just a little bit down the road, and there's a yard with a big fan, so it's much cooler in here. And there's a machine. It's essentially a big can opener. You can probably hear it working in the background, which mechanizes the entire process that we watched just a moment ago. And I said to Akash, why don't they just do massive can openers and do that for the entire stock of what they've got? But he said, no, it's all to do with the barrels that are more deformed. They have to go to the breaker's yard, if you want to call it that, and the other ones, the ones that are in better shape, come here, and the whole thing is much more mechanized. And then they're pressed on a big presser. Comes out flat. I was just saying to Lynn, do you remember the film Robots? I said it was the cartoon film, and there was a character in it called Mr. Bigweld, and he's saying was see a need, fill a need. But if you mechanize everything, if the entire process was mechanized and that yard we just saw didn't exist, you're really affecting an economy, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just when you think about the number of people that we saw working in that yard, and they're all earning money and taking it home to their families. Whereas in here we've got maybe 7 people, 8 people.
Yeah. Entirely different operation. So I'm beginning to get this idea that this idea that we have, because I was in the yard and said, well, why don't they just build a machine to break these all apart? And you start to realise very quickly that you're stripping whole generations of their work, and this economy just does not exist like that. It's a very, very manual economy. When you watch workers, and here, as you have, breaking apart oil drums with hammers in the city yard, it's easy to file this away as somehow separate from the real economy. But in Bangladesh, as I'm learning, that yard and a million places like it are the real economy, or at least a very large part of it. Around 87% of Bangladesh's workforce is employed in this informal sector. No formal contract, no pension, no structured protections. They just show up and do the work. And collectively, that informal sector contributes somewhere between 43 and 64% of the country's GDP. That's not a footnote, it's just a part of the foundation, as I'm learning. The mechanisation question sits inside all of this rather awkwardly to some of us. I mean, a machine that flattens oil drums would be faster than a person with a hammer, obviously. But in a country where nearly 9 in 10 jobs are informal, removing that worker doesn't just improve efficiency. It removes their $12 a day and everything that ripples out from it. Nobody's arguing that these workers should be kept in hard conditions out of some romantic attachment to manual labour. But there's a real difference between conditions improving and jobs simply disappearing. And right now, as I'm understanding it, the second one seems to be the far bigger concern. Let me just get a picture of the plastic that's leading down to the water's edge. F4, 1300 shutter speed, 160 ISO. It really is a sketchbook image, but one of the reasons for making it, or the reason for making that picture, and I'm making too much noise while you're filming.
No, it's all right.
Okay. is we were just talking with Akash about all this plastic on the side, and I thought, at first, it's just the stuff that would be rescued out of the water, but it's not. It's being, what did you say, it's being recycled and cleaned?
It's cleaned, yeah.
Yeah.
It's collected from different factories and it's clean on the water.
Yeah.
Now they're drying and they will recycle. They'll make something, maybe plastic or plastic materials from this.
So that's a good thing, actually, that plastic is being recycled. The unfortunate part of this story, and I think it's a very difficult one to solve, actually, is what comes off the plastic goes straight in the river.
Yeah, of course.
So how do you solve that?
It's a good thing that we are recycling. Otherwise, this plastic will go under the
just in the river,
earth or river, and it will not decompose for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So at least they're collecting and they're recycling it, but still they're washing them on the river and polluting the river waters. And this is the main river of Dhaka.
I know you have to be very careful with what you say, but are Bangladeshis getting better at recycling? Do you see an improvement in people's awareness?
People are not aware about the environment. They're not very concerned about environment. As a Bangladeshi, it hurts me.
But are children beginning to learn about it?
Because I think, I see people are throwing plastic or garbage and rubbish, papers everywhere. They even don't care. They don't care about their environment. That's hurt me a lot.
I know it's all a matter of scale, but my wife at home where we live, she goes out litter collecting, putting it in a bag for recycling. And I'm always amazed at just one short dog walk we can fill whole bagfuls of it. So it's a worldwide issue, but it's a matter of scale, isn't it?
It's a huge scale. 200 million people.
Yeah.
And lots of children. The family are large, and we don't have bin. We don't have proper system
recycling bins.
In Europe. And I was in Europe, and they have bin every corner. 3-4 types of bin, for plastic, for papers, for glasses.
Yeah.
If you go here 5 kilometers, you'll not see a single bin. Even the government, they put bins. The people, the thief, they take them away.
They take them away?
Yeah, they steal them.
For other uses, obviously.
For selling the drug user. Yeah. They stay homeless people, they break them down and they steal them and sell them to the market. But there should be a solution. They can make a concrete bin, so nobody can break it, nobody can take it. But it's a huge amount of people, so it's not easy to
200
control.
million, it's a real...
It's a small country,
Yeah.
poor. It's one of the poorest country in the world, so we have lots of challenges. But it's still, I think it should be in our education system from the beginning, from the primary, even the preschool.
Awareness.
So awareness about hygiene, about health, about society, about environment. That I think that's lacking. Our education system is not good. You cannot tell someone, okay, from today you throw your garbage in this bin. If they are not mentally prepared and they are not educated, they don't have love for the country. 1 or 2 days they will throw them to the bin, and then because they are not feeling, they don't have feeling for their country, the clean hygiene.
Is there a national pride here? Because we talk about love for country. Is there a national pride? I mean, there's definitely I get this sense of freedom and this sense of, now I'm a visitor, so it might be very different for me, but this sense of people are pleased to see you, and again, I'm acting the visitor card here, and there's just this warmness to the people here.
People are nice. People are innocent, nice.
Yeah.
Especially to foreigners.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah.
But they don't care. That's not a problem. People are nice. That's not a question at all. People are warm. People are friendly.
Yeah, very.
But the problem is they don't care about their own society, own environment, own river, own air. They're throwing dust everywhere. They're, buying something like chips. They're taking the chips. Even they're in a very expensive car. They're throwing the chips box packet
throw it away
through the window. Even they're riding on it's not poor, about poor people, also very rich people, middle class people, other upper middle class people. They're just throwing away. You would see if you're standing in a train track, how many chips packet are coming through the windows.
Wow.
So it's a mentality.
Yeah. It's an education, isn't it? These things are always
You will
education.
see many houses. You'll go, like the houses are very clean.
Yeah.
Then if you see the door outside of the houses, it's totally mess, dirty. They throw everything in front of the door. They can put them in a plastic bag or in a bag or something, put them in a little bit organized way. No, they just throw them out of the...
That's a good point, because we went in a house yesterday and they were extremely house proud. Every room was clean. Yeah, interesting.
And there is no system that also should become from, the government, the municipality, that they should collect this. They should have a system. So every day they should collect this rubbish from the people's houses. Where people throw them?
Yeah.
They have to throw somewhere.
Yeah.
They cannot keep all this rubbish inside their home.
When I travelled with Lynn to the Gambia, the leader before the current one, the dictator that was subsequently deposed, a man called Yahya Jammeh, used to have something called Clean Up Wednesday.
Yeah.
So the whole country, I think it was Wednesday, used to clean up on a Wednesday,
It's a beautiful
which was a great idea, beautiful idea. Sadly, though, the education was lacking in that system. On the Thursday, they throw it all away again.
Yeah, that's
So,
the same. But at least they have a system that every Thursday or one particular day they clean. We hope so.
So, in that fact-checking is all the rage these days, the clean-up days I'm referring to there were on Saturdays. I had it in my head that they were on a Wednesday for some reason, but they weren't. Saturdays. Every Saturday across the Gambia, people would come out and clean their streets, their neighbourhoods, public spaces. It was called Set Satal, and under Yahya Jammeh, the dictator in power at the time, it wasn't, of course, optional. That's the thing you need to remember when you hear about this, because on the surface, yes, I think it sounds admirable. A national leader getting his population to take collective pride in their environment. And the streets were clean by most accounts. The policy worked in the narrowest sense of what it was supposed to do. But Yahya Jammeh's Gambia was not a place where you casually opted out of things the government had decided you were doing. This was a regime with a well-documented record of repression, Arbitrary detention, intimidation, people disappearing into the machinery of the state for saying the wrong thing. So, when the whole country turns out to sweep the streets on a Saturday morning, you have to ask yourself how much of that is civic pride and how much of it is a very clear understanding of what happens if you don't show up. After Jammeh fell from power, the Set Satal Saturdays faded, which perhaps tells you everything about whether it was really a community initiative at all or just compliance dressed up as one. Next up, we're at the railway station, one of my favourite places to photograph whenever I travel. And we're at Dhaka's railway station, opened on the 1st of May 1968, which is the main hub, the place everything runs through. And on any given day, around 115,000 passengers will pass through it. Rail travel in Bangladesh goes back to 1862, when the first 33 miles of line opened between Darshana and Jagati. It was built under British colonial rule, which means it was built by local labour under conditions that had very little to do with the interests or well-being of the people doing the work. The railways across the subcontinent were infrastructure built for extraction, i.e. moving goods and resources out, moving troops around, and the human cost of laying them tends to get quietly buried under the romance people later attached to old railway lines, myself included. Note to self. The network that grew from it is divided into two halves, east and west, split by the great rivers that run through the country. Those rivers shape everything, the infrastructure, the gauge of the track, how the two halves connect, and often don't particularly well. Today the network stretches across nearly 1,800 miles and reaches 44 of the country's 65 districts. The fastest trains top out at around 50 miles an hour, which isn't fast by any international measure, but they run. They're cheap, they have intercity services with air conditioning and dining cars, and for a lot of people, they're simply the most practical way to get anywhere at all. Sometimes a railway that functions as an actual public service is far more interesting than one that just goes fast. I'm standing between two trains, one intercity, one more suburban, I think, and I'm doing something I'd never be allowed to do in the UK, and that's walk along the tracks that are in the middle. You imagine if I did this at Paddington Station, what a hell of a row there'd be. Now, it's very easy at this point to make this sound like I'm being judgmental, that there's no health and safety here. And if one thing I've learned about this trip, vulnerability, access, all those sort of things, it's a different world. Of course it's a different world. We're in a different place. And I don't know, Akash might have some feelings about this. Akash, I'm just talking about the fact that if I tried to do this at Paddington Station in London, walk between two trains, I'd be rugby tackled to the floor within a couple of seconds. The access that we have here is incredible. I like the horns, don't worry. And it's always a bit of a balancing act, not to make it sound like I'm being judgmental of the fact that there's no health and safety here and complete disregard. And it's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult to say, but yeah, it's a different one. It's a different world. Yeah.
This idea of just walking onto the railway here is,
nowhere in the world will allow you to go on the track of the train, but here actually nobody control.
No. You've seen this little lad.
Too many population also.
Yeah.
And also,
Oh, now he's acting for Lynn. Look, this little lad's been following us from coach to coach to coach.
Yeah,
At first he was playing, I was trying to get a picture, and he was acting shy. So in the end I thought, I'll just walk off.
Yeah.
And he called after me. He was like, oh, my game's finished. And now he's followed us all the way along.
Yeah, he is also playing with me. He's playing hide and seek.
Yeah. A lot of the children on this platform seem to know you.
There are more than around 4 million children living on the street. They're homeless, street children. And many of them, they know me because every 2 weeks I take them to a good restaurant for have a good meal. And I'm doing it for a long time. So most of them, if they're not new, they know me.
You take something like 200 people to a restaurant.
Yes, every 2 weeks, around 200.
Every 2 weeks?
2 weeks, 200 children, women, men, homeless people, beggars, all together.
Oh, that's incredible.
So, yeah, I know some restaurants, they allow me, it's not easy to get permission to take them into a good restaurants. Because
So you take them to a really good restaurant as
nice
well?
restaurant.
Yeah.
Because they don't have chance to have a good meal. You know, they're always outside, and I'm an individual photographer. I cannot do it every day.
Yeah.
It also takes lots of time, lots of efforts to manage them. Because when they go to the restaurant, they make it mess, dirty.
Yeah.
So they usually don't want to allow it. But it's for a good reason, good cause, so somehow they manage.
It's very special to be able to do that. You do know, Akash, in my world, 200 people is a big wedding. And you're doing a big wedding every 2 weeks.
Here in Bangladesh, wedding means 1,000 people.
No.
Or 5,000 people, 10,000 people, yeah.
Where do you take them for a 5,000 people wedding?
They have a big wedding halls, huge,
Yeah,
huge.
yeah.
You should visit.
Yeah.
People expend a lot of money for their wedding here.
Do they?
You will be surprised.
Well, it's fascinating being at the railway station. There's eight platforms, is that right? This is a busy time of the day as well, first thing in the morning, isn't it? Lynn got the shot of the day. Look at this.
That one's gone.
Yeah, that one's gone, sorry. I was chatting with you and you missed the shot. Lynn got it. The young lad that I'd been working so hard to get pictures of, Lynn steamed straight in and just got the winner. Yeah, I set that up and you got it.
I know, you did all the hard work.
Set them up, let you get that. That's
And
gonna win a National
and you
Geo
kept
Award.
me busy with talking, so I could not.
So you didn't
go
get it
and check.
either, yeah.
So that was a trick. Now I understand.
Lynn's gonna enter that
So I'm really happy that Lynn got it.
Yeah.
And he got an excellent photo.
Well, I'm partly happy because she's going to enter it in the Travel Award of the Year, and she's going to go and bloody get it. You know, that was my shot.
That's
I'm
incredible.
sorry, Neil. That's what you get for talking too much.
Snooze, you lose.
Exactly.
Isn't that the saying? Eh? We're being rather flippant about making a photograph of a child that essentially wanted to play in front of the lens. But it's worth coming back to this figure that Akash was talking about, because more than 3.4 million and somewhere between that and 4 million children in Bangladesh are living on the streets without parental care. In Dhaka alone, an estimated 350,000 children live on the city's streets, and the ways they find money are as varied as they're difficult. Around half of them collect waste and scrap for recycling, while roughly a third rely upon begging, earning somewhere between 80 and 100 taka a day, which works out to less than $1. Some sell flowers or newspapers at traffic junctions, or work as helpers on buses and rickshaws. Others find themselves pulled into the lower levels of organised crime. It would be easy to assume all of these children are here because their families are desperately poor, and often that's true, but research that I found went into something more complicated underneath, and that is that a significant number come from backgrounds that aren't particularly poor at all. They've left home running away from violence and abuse. And the street offers something that sounds almost absurd, given the conditions, a kind of freedom. For these children, the pattern of daily life is earning money and spending it almost immediately just to survive. There's no saving, there's no plan beyond today, and that's not a character flaw, it's just the maths, isn't it, of having nothing. I have been trying to get a picture of this young lad. Now, I do think it's one of those unfortunate stories where he lives at the station, but he's been playing with us now for a while. Lynn got a great picture of him, and it's taken me 15-20 minutes to try and win his trust. I've been trying to show him the pictures. Look. But now he's just beginning to warm to the idea of having a picture taken. But I can't. This is a back screen moment, because if I look into the eye piece, he disappears straight away. Look, on cue. Come on, come up. He's so shy, but he's not really. We are the entertainment. Fantastic. Look, have a look at the back of the... Every time I invite him to look at the back of the screen, he runs away. Look. Let me show you. There we go, look. That's you. He's so shy. Honestly, I'm trying to talk to him. Just a moment ago, he was so talkative. But now he's not. Let me get another one. Go on. Do you know, I have spent 20 minutes trying to get a picture of you, and I'm missing pictures of everybody else. Akash?
Yes.
How do I say what's your name? What's his name? What's his name?
তোমার নাম কি বাবা জিজ্ঞেস করছে? তোমার নাম কি জিজ্ঞেস করছে?
Yasim.
বয়স কত? জানে না. He doesn't know his age.
Doesn't know his age.
আয় ভিতরে খাও আমি একটু পরে. এখানে নিয়ে যাবো না, বাগান আছে না? বাগা খাবো না, রাইপর. আমার লগে থাকে.
Yeah, he's worried about him falling out the door.
Can I show him the picture?
Yes.
Yeah, he's now warmed.
কোনো ভয় নাই তো বাবা.
It's taken a while, Akash.
Find it. I've taken many photos since.
তোর ছবি তুলছে.
Say
এই
look.
দেখ.
Look. He's so shy.
He is naughty, not shy.
Naughty.
He is not shy.
He's got those naughty eyes.
Very naughty.
You've been having a lot of fun with us, haven't you?
We've become the entertainment.
জিজ্ঞেস করতেছে আমাদের সাথে কি ভালো লাগতেছে তোমার? হ্যাঁ? ভালো লাগতেছে, আসো খাও মনে হয়, আসো মামা। আমার থাকি একটু পরে খেতে যাবো, হ্যাঁ?
No, don't eat your clothes.
Just now,
থাকতে ছেড়ে যাবো, আসো।
Just now, Lynn, I was trying to get a picture of him, and he was shouting out, but I didn't know where he was. I thought, where's he gone? And then I looked through the plate where you walk between the carriages, and he was looking up at me from the wheels. I thought, get out!
Oh, he's a nimble little thing.
He's nimble. He's chewing his clothes. My gran would have said, stop chewing your clothes. We talk quite often on the show about projects, micro projects, mini projects, and Akash brought us, 2-3 floors up perhaps, looking down into the main ticket area, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 6 crosses. There's circles with a cross going through them, and he said it's a good view here, particularly on a day when there's a lot of people in the ticket office. You can imagine this would be, when it's heaving with people, will be truly interesting to photograph. But all the same, actually, we're in the middle of the day. Well, I suppose nearer to lunchtime now, and it's not quite so busy. But all the same, it's still interesting. There's a micro project has formed, because I noticed that where the crosses are, nobody was walking across the crosses. It was almost like they would avoid the cross until one cat, I must have been, well, I was in exactly the right place at the right time. There was a gentleman, I think, in the bottom right-hand corner of the frame, somewhere like that, and a cat right in the middle. The cat was the only thing that crossed on a cross out of all these 6 circles that I've been photographing that has the cross go through them. So I thought, what about the cat and the cross as a small micro project that I could make into a mini film? I'm sure it won't win any awards, but when you go anywhere and think, right, what's the story here? What am I photographing? What am I seeing? After a while, something happens. And this didn't take long. It was 5 minutes until the cat entered the cross. And then after that, I thought, right, what about everybody else? Will they go across a cross? And then I can get a lot of people walking across crosses. And nobody did. Just the cat and the cross. A micro project. In Dakar's hum, where feet dodge the lines, 6 silent crosses in the ticket hall shine. They all step around them, wary, polite. But there's a cat who doesn't care for that plight. She walks the cross like it's hers to claim, tell straight, indifferent to everyone else's game. While people avoid what they can't quite say, the cat cuts across in her own quiet way. So here's to the one who ignores the rules in a station of lines and unwritten duels. The cat crossed the cross, And it's funny but true, nobody else did, just her, not you. There's some interesting. What market are we in?
One of the largest vegetable market, wholesale vegetable market, is called Kauran Bazaar.
I love when you say we're going to a vegetable market, there'll be chickens.
Yeah, it's including everything: rice,
Yeah, it's always a
chicken,
chicken.
vegetables, fish. It's everything.
There's some
Fruits,
very
yeah.
difficult light to work with here, isn't there? These harsh green
Yeah,
lights.
there are lots of different. Because this area, they're selling chilies.
Yeah.
So looking chilies more green, they put green light.
Well, they make them look green.
Yeah.
I've just taken a picture of one of the guys.
And that area, they're selling onions. So making
They make it
onion
look
more
red,
red,
yeah.
they put red light. Yeah.
I just took a picture of that guy over there under his green light. He looks like the Incredible Hulk. I don't know if you ever. Do you remember the Incredible
Yeah,
Hulk?
I saw my favorite movie.
If you were in here making pictures of your street pictures, what would you be looking for? What is it that, because there's so much here, sometimes it's difficult to see the story for the amount there is.
First of all, I have to look for interesting characters. Not everybody will make good photographs.
No, yeah.
So you have to look for interesting face. Then you have to look for interesting moments when people are doing something, they're in action, rather than just sitting. And
Handing
also-
money over, taking produce.
Yes, something doing, interacting with each other.
Yeah.
And then you have to look for beautiful color. Not all area has beautiful color here. Some area has lots of white, which is distracting.
Yeah.
So you have to find interesting light and color also. But mainly, most importantly, interesting faces.
Akash doesn't like white.
I like white. I wear white.
You're
all the
wearing a
time.
white shirt, I know, but if
But
you do a
for my
picture
photos,
and there's lots of white,
I
Akash
try
will
to
go,
avoid
too
white."
much white.
I try to avoid white because it's very powerful and it's take your attention there.
Draws you away, doesn't it? It draws you away. Right, I'm going to go and find some good light. Excuse me, and I'm not doing that for effect. The noise you can hear is the Mosquito Man. He's like a character. Everybody runs from him as he comes down the street. He's essentially just spreading this exceptionally noxious substance to kill everything going, including tourists. It's not a nice smell, is it, Lynn?
It's horrible. I was just thinking it's who you're going to call bug busters.
Leave the gags to me, if you will.
That's no worse than any of yours.
No, I've just been waiting to use that line. God, that is noxious, though, isn't it? Oh.
Oh, it's horrible. In fact, it's catching my throat more than the turmeric in the spice
Well,
market.
when we walked through the turmeric, we were all coughing and spluttering. Whew.
It's really,
I think I've still got turmeric up my nose.
yeah, it's really pungent, isn't it? It just catches you right at the back of the throat.
But the noises are important. I wanted you to get the texture of this country, and that noise you hear happens every single evening. The bug man comes out. Lynn's getting a picture of somebody fixing a rickshaw.
Sorry.
No, at this point you're supposed to talk us through f2.8, 500 ISO. Oh, he stopped.
Stopped, yeah.
Now you can talk us through it.
What am I on? I'm on my ISO's way too high because we've come back outside, so I'm just going to knock it down to 400. And I'm on f2.8, 1/2500, so it's really fast.
There was no big click noise.
I don't have a big clicky camera though.
I'll have to put a click. I have to turn my click up just so we get the noise. These high rises, Akash, these look quite new, these ones. A lot of the buildings that we've seen in the Old Town in particular, sadly, have been knocked down, haven't they? These beautiful buildings are being all knocked down and replaced with this. These are new sort of high-rises. A lot of the older buildings have been knocked down, haven't they? Nobody's saving them.
Yeah, here, especially Old Dhaka, is like a UNESCO heritage site.
Yeah.
So we should preserve these beautiful old buildings. But seems that nobody really cared. So they're destroying these old buildings and building new houses and high-rise buildings. Yeah.
Only these look reasonably strong because you've had some earthquakes of late. We had one the other day, but none of us noticed it.
Yeah, I think it was not in our areas.
Yeah.
But we have frequent earthquake last couple of months.
Yeah.
Bangladesh sits at the junction of 3 tectonic plates, which makes it more seismically active than most people realise. At least 5 major earthquakes exceeding 7 on the Richter scale struck the region between 1869 and 1930, and while the country's been relatively calm since, geologists aren't especially reassured by that. A 2016 study by Columbia University warned of a potential magnitude 9 earthquake originating from a megathrust. The more immediate concern is Dhaka itself. A magnitude 5.7 in November 2025 killed at least 10 people and injured several hundred, exposing just how fragile urban life is in a city where millions live in tightly packed buildings. Dhaka is, by a number of assessments, one of the most vulnerable major cities in the world to a significant earthquake, which is a sobering thing to carry around when you're walking its streets. Along the rivers of Bangladesh, you'll see a chain of workers here and there, men, women, and elderly alike, walking planks from loaded barges to the bank, carrying large pots of sand balanced on their heads. It's slow, repetitive, very physical work done in heat that most of us would struggle to stand in. And it's how a huge amount of building material moves in a country laced with waterways which lorries simply can't reach. No machinery, no conveyor belts, just people, planks, and the same journey made hundreds of times a day.
Chug, 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 chug. You can hear the boat in the background. This is our last day, Akash. I can't believe it. It's gone so quickly. I've thoroughly enjoyed working with you, being your guest, and learning about this incredible country. And this it's not the last, because we've got one more location after this, but this penultimate location, I'm watching people unloading boats with lots of sand. Some of the boats look like they're almost sinking.
Yeah, this area is mainly they bring sand, stones, bricks from different part of Bangladesh,
Up the river.
Especially near the Indian borders in Sylhet. And they unload here and they sell from here. It's a wholesale market.
Right.
It's this area called Amin Bajar. Bajar, yeah. And it's called loading unloading area in Amin Bajar. And this worker mainly they get around 2 cents from there. They're carrying load from the ships and unloading to the shores.
So wait a minute, they get 2 cents.
Yeah.
So I see they're going down, they've got these
It's
huge...
almost 40 kilos.
40 kilos on their heads. So it's a big pan.
So when it get down lower, more lower, because moisture and water, it's become heavier. So more down they get, more heavier it's become.
So now I'm seeing there's
It's 30 to 40 kilos.
there's somebody down here. So she has just put a huge bowl of sand on her head. That's 30 to 40 kilos. She takes it out of the hold, and then across these very bouncy planks back onto land. And you're telling me they get
They're going up to
no,
there.
it's not just there. It's onwards.
Yeah.
So that's a walk of, I don't know,
2 cents,
50 meters, 100 meters. So 2 cents.
2 cents to 3 cents.
2 to 3 cents for each of those. How do they know that they've made
a journey?
So they get a token when they deliver there. There is someone who is giving the token. You see that women standing there with a bag.
Yeah.
And she is giving a token after every trip. And at the end of the day, they will give this token to their owner or manager.
Yep.
And they'll get the money.
And they'll get the money. How many trips will they do in a day?
600, 700 times.
600 times?
To earn 600 or 500 to 600 taka. Or even
is $5, $5 to $6.
Yeah.
Wow. And it happens all the way along as far as I can see.
Go there, I don't think we'll survive even 10 minutes doing this, 10 times.
Wow. I shall never complain again about doing gym exercises. Look at this. No wonder they must have, their neck muscles must either be severely compressed or
But you will see
skeleton.
people also carrying like 60 kilo, 70 kilo there, who are carrying
70
bricks.
kilos?
Yeah.
Where are the bricks?
You will see this in the middle because there's hundreds of ships. They're working somewhere in the middle.
So it's not just sand, it's bricks as well.
It's bricks, stones and sand. And coal also. But for coal, they are using mainly now machines, cranes.
Yeah.
So they don't carry on their head anymore.
But it used to be on their head. But this is is fully manual process, isn't it?
Yeah.
Empty the load. Goodness. Well, we're going to make some photographs of this. I'm interested to see the token system. Right. I'm not sure I could do this for a living at all. That's incredible. Human feet. Human feet. Definitely some of the workers here work in a tag team. I've noticed a partnership, a woman and a man here. He comes halfway, passes his load of sand from his head to hers, and she effectively runs and does the rest of the distance to drop the sand, take the token, and come back and be ready for him the next time. Where is he? And he's quite quick himself as well. So they've got a system going. Whether it makes more money, I don't know. Maybe it makes a bit of a difference, but there's two of them as opposed to one. Just a moment ago, Lynn, somebody offered me their token, and I just, it's a 2-cent token, but no thank you. I don't,
Well, no, you're taking money away from
I know,
them.
I kept telling him.
But they're just so kind and generous, It's a respect thing for them to give you something.
Yeah.
But, I mean, really, time is money for these people, isn't it? So, I wouldn't want to deprive them of their token.
Good God, no. Funnily enough, I was thinking, well, what do I do? Do I go and take a load? Honestly, I was thinking, how can I possibly do this man's bidding for giving me 2 cents for that one journey?
I think you'd have been in trouble if you'd gone to do a load from, because I'm trying to make sense of the scene that's in front of us. I'm trying to watch and see if there's some sort of rhythm to the way they're working, and they do seem to have a system. They go down onto the ship on one gangplank and they come up the other one.
One-way system.
A one-way system. And it's the same within the hold of the boat where the sand is as well. And it seems to be quite a well-oiled machine. So I think if we went in there, it'd be a real spanner in the works. We're from England. England, yes.
I like England.
Good, thank you. We like Bangladesh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Very nice, friendly people.
Yes. Every people day by day is very hard working.
Very hard working. Very hard working.
Last day, the money 700, 600, 900, 1,000
Taka.
taka.
For one
Yes.
day.
One day.
One day. And your token?
Taking the tally, one piece,
1 piece?
3 taka.
3 taka.
3 taka. One piece, 3 taka.
Okay. So how many pieces in one day for you?
18 or 100 taka 1 hour.
For 1 hour, 100, 1 hour. So you're going very fast.
Yes,
very
very hard
fast.
working.
Yeah, very hard.
Day by day.
working. Very strong.
Yes.
And the ladies too, very strong.
Every
Big
people is very strong. Every people is very strong.
Yes.
Day by day, the hard working.
How many years have you been doing this?
Yes.
Many years?
Many years?
Did you start as a child?
Yes.
You? And then You're carrying?
One piece. My daughter.
Oh, your daughter?
Yes.
Is this your daughter?
My brother.
Oh, your niece. So
Yes.
your niece. Yeah.
My daughter one.
Oh, she's only one.
Only one.
Oh, she's very, very little.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Too small to work.
Child.
Yeah. Okay.
6 years old.
6 years old. Son.
My sister, my daughter 6 year old.
You've got a sister who
Yes,
is
yes.
6 years old.
My daughter.
Oh, your daughter is
6 year old.
Right. Still quite
Yes,
young.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
thank you. I feel ever so guilty for stopping them.
I know, but he wanted to stop and talk. I mean,
That was the man that offered me his token.
Yeah, very nice man.
Yeah,
And quite a few words of English as well,
yeah,
which
absolutely.
is not being usual here.
Right, I'm going to carry on photographing.
Yeah.
There's always an element of fear, doubt, fear that you talking about me, that I might sound somewhat trite when I say things like the generosity of these people as I watch people carrying 30 to 40 kilos of sand on their head up and down these very bouncy planks. And I've just walked across to get onto one of the boats. They're having a break, a well-deserved break at the moment. There's always that fear in me that I might sound somewhat trite when I say the generosity is extraordinary, but it is. There's a young lady here who offered me part of her rice rations. And we're nearer the start of the day, and she needs all of her rice rations to do this extremely physical task for the entire day. And I've mentioned it already, and Lynn was honestly somewhat crestfallen when she had to take a token from this very kindly lad that just, for him, it meant everything to give her one of the tokens from one of his journeys. Now, you might say, well, it's 2 cents, it can run a bit faster. But the reality is that these are extraordinary people that work bloody hard for their families in very, very manual tasks. But it's what keeps this economy afloat. No pun intended by the fact that we're at an unloading yard with ships and boats. I'm watching one come in actually carrying this huge cargo of its sand, and honestly, I'll get some pictures so you can see what I mean. But it's so low in the water that one huge wake wave would surely swamp the ship or make it very difficult. They are laden, absolutely fully laden with about as much sand as they can carry. It's lunchtime and it's Monday. They're watching the news. A lot of the workers. Shush, shush, shush. I'm talking. Mr. Dog. And I walked into the area and all eyes fell on me while the news of the regime change in Iran. Yeah, it's a very strange feeling. A very strange feeling, that. I'm not suggesting they were thinking anything of me, but I don't know as well. And with the conflict actually spreading across the Middle East, and are you saying be quiet? All right.
Honestly, it's like working with Barney, only several thousand miles away. So behind the barges, yes, tucked away from the river, there was a cattle market, and beyond that, a rest area where a group of men had gathered around a communal television watching the news.
The Iran conflict running, when I walked in, every head turned. It was the first moment during my time in Bangladesh where I felt the weight of where I was from, not threatened exactly, but definitely aware. That awareness you might get when you understand you're the only Westerner in a room and the telly is showing exactly the kind of news that makes being a Westerner at that moment rather complicated. Akash had arranged for a man he knows to sing us a song, it being the last day. I was genuinely looking forward to this, but what followed was something rather different. The man stood, stretched out his arms wide, clenching one of his fists, and launched into what I can only describe as a passionate address about the powers of the West. So, voice raised, clenched fist, the room watching on. I have no doubt it landed well with his audience, but I wasn't quite sure what they felt about me and Lynn. And the irony was, as he was delivering this address, and there'll be a photograph on the show page, he was wearing a very well-pressed and washed Shell petroleum t-shirt. Mind you, when he was done, he smiled at both myself and Lynn and Akash and started to sing his song, as if everything was okay after all, with us at any rate.
Nobi bishero lagiya anilen chahiya shanti shuda Islam. Nobi bishero lagiya anilen chahiya shanti shuda Islam.
And that's the end of our Bangladesh special. There is a temptation when you leave a place like Dhaka to feel you've understood something, but you haven't really. We spent a short time in one corner of a country of 170 million plus people, and what we saw was extraordinary, but it was also a sliver, a single frame from a very long film. Bangladesh has coastline, delta, hills, tea gardens, tigers, and also one of the largest mangrove forests on earth. We saw none of that, and that fact alone is reason enough to go back. What will remain with me is the people. Not in this vague postcard sense, but specifically the workers on the river carrying sand in the early morning heat, the families who invited us into their festivals without a second thought, the traders in the markets who wanted to know where we were from and whether we liked the food. Bangladesh has had a complicated and often brutal history. Yes, it faces pressures, environmental, political, economic, and those pressures would buckle a lot of nations, but it gets on with it anyway, and that's not a small thing. Would I go back? Without hesitation. With more time, a better grasp of Bengali, and a longer list of places I haven't been yet. Lynn and I barely scratched the surface, and we knew it even while we were there. Sometimes that's the best possible outcome from a trip. Not the feeling that you've seen the place, but the feeling that you've been given the beginning of one. And I think that can be this week's postscript.
The Photowalk is a Loading Zone production.